Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
But tell me, Eddie, is that a rabbit in your pocket or you're just happy to see me?
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Basically, back for the second of the Leprechaun movies. I mixed this one up a little bit with the third one. I remembered the whole tour, the whole Dark Side Tours thing. But I thought this one was the one that happened in Las Vegas. That's the third one. The third one, I believe, is the Las Vegas one. This one is just LA, and the central plot to this sequel is a different Leprechaun played by Warwick Davis. So, not the same one from the first one, who tries to marry this young woman 1,000 years prior to when this film takes place, and is thwarted. So he lays a curse upon the families, and so basically 1,000 years later, he's going to basically come back and go after the descendant of the woman who, and it's like all because, the poem is basically, she sneezes once, she sneezes twice, she'll be mine. She sneezes thrice, she sneezes thrice or something like that, basically. So if the woman sneezes 3 times, that's basically she's his, pretty much. Kind of like an Islamic divorce. All a man has to do is say, "I divorce you 3 times in public in front of witnesses," and I guess in Irish tradition with leprechauns, all a woman has to do is sneeze 3 times, and she's wed to a leprechaun. But it's thwarted, and we'll go into this basically, when her father says, "God bless you." So basically, simply saying "God bless you" thwarts that entire curse, pretty much. But anyway, hold on. Well, before I say hello to the chat, Steve, why don't you let everybody know where they can find you and all that fun stuff while I'm looking at my text, because it keeps going off.
Well, you could find me on Mars channel twice every Wednesday, or 2 Wednesdays out of the month for 1s and 2s. Thursdays on my channel for singles twice a month with Mara. Sundays on my channel for weekly recaps. However, due to the fact that Sunday I will be going to the theaters to watch Ghostbusters 4, I will be, instead of a weekly recap, be doing a live review for that. As for Tuesdays, next week I finish out the theme streams. Sorry, brain fart. I finish out the 1s versus 2s with Deadpool 1 versus Deadpool 2. And tomorrow we're doing 47 Ronin, and Friday is the shit show, but also Orange Hat Uncensored. And Tuesday nights, I'm on the Barroom podcast. So, yeah. Also, tomorrow I will be streaming on X, just in case, although I did finally get my stream, my 13th Warrior stream last week. I finally got that unblocked globally. Disney fucking took the L this time. So, yeah.
Yeah. Which is, I still cannot fathom how there are entire movies on YouTube. But
they found out, or they fucked around and found out.
Yeah.
It's like, look, the only way that your copyright would work is if audio was playing. Audio wasn't playing.
Yeah.
Therefore, I got you. So, yeah, fuck you, Disney.
Yeah. Well, both of you and mine, we don't play audio. Yeah. We have our it muted, and we might play a little bit to get to a certain part or to kind of show something, because a discussion might not do a scene justice, like simply talking about it.
Yeah.
So even if someone tried recording the stream to get that clip, there's no way that they could upload it or anything or monetize it because there's no audio.
Exactly.
So.
Go.
But anyway, I'm gonna say hello to the chat before we get into this, because like I said,
hate it because it's not 2016 continuity. Soul Assassin. And good to see you, bub.
Well, I don't trust the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, but someone was watching Jeremy Johns, and he's like, I think his criticism is like it relies too heavily on the member berries, and there are
It's
some characters that
going
aren't.
to. It's Ghostbusters. It's back
Well,
in
see,
New
the
York.
thing,
It's
see,
got
there's
familiar faces.
there's nostalgia, and then there's member berries, and there's a difference. Member berries are like, remember this, remember this, remember this. Nostalgia is like, oh, that's
Yeah.
nice. I remember that. There's a difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah. Well, I'll see when the movie comes in or when the movie comes up, because I will be giving an objective review, folks. You all know me. I don't beat around the bush with that one.
And my objective
But,
review
yeah.
for Afterlife was a 7 out of 10. So I was kind of in line with the critics for that one.
Oh, I was too. It's like, it's not a perfect movie, but it's got heart and it did it right.
So, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly going to see this in theaters right away.
Neither am I. Usually I'd go on Fridays, but I'm doing it Sunday instead, so I can see it with mom. My mom actually is like, I want to see this one. It's like, all right, yeah, go ahead.
Let's see. From the top, I see Trey. What's up? Austin really liked this one. I didn't mind it.
It was okay.
Didn't mind
it was better than the first.
So,
It was better than
I
the
think
first.
I think like for me, it's probably third in line because I like the Las Vegas one. So I like, the first, the third, and then the second, and then the other ones we kind of only really acknowledge for the memes, pretty much.
Yeah.
Especially in the hood. No worries, Gravy. Have fun at the movies. So, hope you enjoy whatever it is you're seeing. Jaluk, going to be lurking. Have you guys on the background? No worries, Jaluk. Bradley Scott, what is up? Yes, this is my kick. I primarily do my gaming here. Last night I did continue my playthrough of Gears of War. I've been playing Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I'll be adding more games to the rotation. I also still use my Twitch for multiplayer games. I'll try to be there Saturday afternoon, probably playing some Helldivers or something if I'm able to. But Friday and Saturday will be watch parties in the evening.
Nice.
So on my Discord. So hiya, Jimmy Cass, good to see you. And yes, fair use YouTube. Yeah, and there are certainly some parts that we cannot show.
Yeah. Pretty sure they had a body double for that one.
There is a rumor, and I would not be shocked if that rumor were true, that it was a body double. Mainly because of the girl's age. Like, she wasn't young, but at the same time it's like she's playing a young. I know, but she's playing a kind of a youngish character.
Yeah.
So
18-ish.
Yeah, so probably, I don't know. I know there's one movie that,
except back then they really didn't
there
care.
were actually worse stunt boobs used in the movie that I remember, and that was Phantasm.
Yeah. Who was in that?
Reggie, is it Bannister? Is that his last name? I think it's Scrim. He played the tall man.
Which actress was in it?
I don't know. She wasn't really a well-known actress. She was basically just starting out. So basically, she really wasn't well known. But she, and there was a stunt butt in the scene as well too, because she and the guy playing what's the older brother's name?
Don't know.
I can't remember the older brother's name, but they're getting hot and heavy in the graveyard scene.
There you go.
Each of the actors had just recently gotten married to different people, so they weren't comfortable doing the sex scene. Yeah. So when the shots of the boobs and the butt happened, they literally brought their other actors in, and those were stunt boobs, and that was a stunt butt, pretty much. That wasn't the actors themselves.
Well, fun fact about crazy awkwardness in scenes. I mean, we're talking movies, folks, but we'll get back to Leprechaun in a second. You know the movie Swordfish? With Hugh Jackman, Travolta, Halle Berry.
I know it, but I don't remember too well.
Well, there's a scene where Hugh Jackman's getting head, and for that scene, his wife was under the table to monitor how the scene played out.
Oh my, come on.
So it's like, yeah, if you're gonna do it right.
All right. Okay.
You fucking serious? Oh my god. He actually explained this in an interview. I'm like,
Mhm.
why would you say that?
I don't think just that they changed his origin. I think it was a different leprechaun.
Yeah,
Basically,
it's a
like,
different leprechaun. This leprechaun wasn't trapped a few years ago. This one was trapped for 1,000 years.
yeah, so basically it's the same actor,
Or
but
just
he's
waiting
playing a
for it.
different leprechaun.
Yeah. Same actor,
So,
different lep.
yeah, this is Orange Chat's channel. Thank you. Yeah, older Jody. I was like, I almost said Michael, but I was like, no, Michael's the younger brother. I couldn't remember the older brother's name. Soul Assassin, what is up? Sunny and Brave Megatron. If you can prove leprechauns exist, you gotta suck my balls, Cartman. So.
Oh, those little fuckers exist. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm with Trey. I'm kind of like watching the special copy first, and if it's good, then I'll pay for it. It's kind of, and also, the Late Night with the Devil. I believe that's what the movie's called, and Immaculate. I'm gonna watch the special copies first, and if they're good, then I'll pay for it. The only movie that I want to go to the theater to see, I've been saying this, it's just because it looks like a really wholesome film, that Arthur the King movie.
Oh yeah, that's in theaters in my area right now.
Yeah, so it looked like a nice, wholesome movie for like once, and like I know the irony coming from me, chat. I know the irony coming from me. But
Wholesome,
sometimes you just
Mara.
want wholesome. Sometimes you just want wholesome. Sometimes you just
Yeah.
want nice and wholesome.
Yeah. But yeah.
Fuck North, hello.
Hey, fuck Norse.
Yeah, and I recommend the Phantasm to Trey. So
I'm
if you
going
like
to see GXK as well, because my mom also kind of ventured interest in that,
Hey,
and
Michael.
she's not really that interested in the MonsterVerse, so it's kind of weird.
My sister really wants to see it, so I'm kind of like locked in for an
Nice.
April 5th showing with my siblings.
I'm seeing it the Sunday after opening,
Yeah.
because it's like, well, it's either we see it our Friday or we see it on our Sunday. Either way, whatever's happening. Yeah.
Dinner Bill says, I remember Swordfish's behind the scenes had Don Cheadle saying he thought Hugh Jackman was miscast for the film, but did a great Wolverine.
Wow, Cheadle is an asshole.
Yeah. So
No, seriously, that dude is such an ass behind the scenes of movies. Nice and wholesome. Sounds like a
Chuck
trick.
Norris and Superman had a fight. The loser had to wear their underwear on the outside. Oh, I can figure out who lost. Anyway.
I did a Chuck Norris short, guys. Thought I did pretty well. It was during the October season.
All right.
Once Upon a Time. I love that.
Yeah.
Ireland, Once Upon a Time.
This is a different Leprechaun. Like, again,
Yeah.
played by Warwick Davis, but a different Leprechaun. So a different storyline altogether with this creature. And it takes place 1,000 years prior to when this film takes place. This film was released in 1994. So we're going to assume roughly that this is just about the
994.
first 1,000 years, pretty much, roughly, time frame.
Yeah, so it's 994. There you
go. And leprechauns can trap people. The
and
guy
enslave
tried
them.
getting his gold. He enslaved them, basically. But the guy tried getting his gold, and he's been enslaved. Which, I don't know Leprechaun lore that well, so I thought, once
they threw it out the window for this one.
Yeah. So I'd never heard that pretty much, but according to this, he was able to enslave this man, and was telling him, I'm going to be married. There's basically the whole, she sneezes once, she sneezes twice, she sneezes, she'll be my wife.
She'll be mine if she sneezes thrice.
Basically, so she sneezes 3 times, she'll be the leprechauns, and the guys, at this point, he tried escaping, but is relegated himself to okay, well, I can't escape, so I might as well just go along with this until he finds out. And this is basically the very brief scene. This actress here at the beginning is the one that plays the girl in the rest of the movie, where he finds out that it's the man's daughter. So not only does he enslave the man, But he's going to plans on wedding his daughter.
Yeah. It's like, dude, seriously? You fucking enslaved me and now you're going to take my kid?
Yeah.
Hey, at least we'll be related.
They don't even mention the Clover weakness. And this one, his weakness is iron.
Yeah, which is fairies, not leprechauns.
So, but again, as you pointed out, they kind of throw whatever lore there is with leprechauns essentially out the window with this one.
I mean,
and this one here, like I said, this is thwarted by simply saying "God bless you."
Yeah, and this one they do a callback to the first one earlier in this scene where it's like, "Yeah, and your shoes are filthy," and then he kind of smacks the shoes a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So there is that little bit of a callback to the first.
So a little bit, but again, it's like they don't exactly whatever happened in the first one is kind of forgotten.
Yeah.
In terms of lore, in this one.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is basically the entire opening shot, pretty much. The man says "God bless you," which thwarts the leprechaun's plans, and which leprechaun kills him. But then let me see if I can get a shot of what he says.
Essentially, I'll come back after 1,000 years, or I curse your bloodline. Yeah.
A curse be placed upon your seed. This is the man's name, William O'Day. So basically, he's laying a curse on the family lineage. You may have saved your daughter, but in 1,000 years, on my next 1,000th birthday, so in 1,000 years, I'm going to return and basically claim your descendant. So, Clover, I think, comes back in 3. So, which, according to our discussion last week, basically, if you pick the Clover, it loses. It becomes what bad luck. He said. So if you find a 4-leaf clover, you have to leave it.
Yep.
But in the lore of the first movie, you picked it, and it kind of held him trapped.
Yeah.
In a box because he couldn't escape the box, so the clover was on top. In this one, it's like if it's iron or
iron.
The safety iron or lead.
It's wrought iron.
Wrought iron. Okay, so I was like, because they trap him in a safe at one point.
Yeah. Safe with weird inside contours, man.
Yeah.
South Park taught me that St. Patrick was a pervy asshole.
Yeah.
I'm not touching that Stunning and Brave.
Yeah, but this is the only of the Leprechaun films to actually take place on St. Patrick's Day, when the Leprechaun returns 1,000 years later. So you have the whole basically jokes regarding little people. Tony Cox makes an appearance in this, pretty much. Who's been in films with Warwick Davis. Yep,
he's
carrying around a pot of chocolate wrapped in gold, so it looks like gold coins.
Yeah, or Tony Cox was, yeah.
Doesn't necessarily kill him, but it hurts him heavily. Yeah, I'm saying that's his weakness, pretty much. Kind of like the clover, doesn't kill him, just weakens him. And also, I don't remember this being at all mentioned in the first one, but the fact that, the thing is, in the first one, again, lore is ignored pretty much, because in the first one, the character that swallowed the coin, Ozzy, the leprechaun was able to hurt him because he needed to he was trying to cut through basically his stomach to get to the coin, so he was able to hurt Ozzy. But in this one, because the kid Cody has the last gold coin, the leprechaun for some reason can't touch him. At least in the car, basically.
It's like I have power over you, so yeah.
So I'm saying that's kind of forgotten, because if that was the case, if Ozzy had the last gold coin, then he should have had power over the leprechaun. The leprechaun shouldn't have been able to touch him. According, I think they throw shit out the window for this one.
It almost seemed like a lot of scenes. Warwick Davis was just Something tells me he just wasn't all in on this one.
This one, I think, yeah, this is of the first three. Like if they had made this a trilogy, this is definitely the weakest.
Mm-hmm.
The third one, it gets, it kind of like, it starts like, good with the first movie, dips with this one, and then comes back up with the third movie. Like it felt like, third movie felt more in line with what they were going for in the first movie.
I mean, there is fun in this one, absolutely. Mm-hmm. But I just feel that it's like, gosh, he just doesn't seem like he's all in on this one. I mean, there's scenes where he's just looking up as if he doesn't know what to say, and it's like, line.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, dude, say something at least, because it's kind of weird that you're not. But I absolutely, or it's kind of like an awkward scene when they're in the bar.
Mm-hmm.
And Morty or whatever.
Morty.
Yeah. He basically embarrasses the leprechaun. I'm guessing that's probably why he was silent, but it was such a great scene.
Mm-hmm. Which was, in a way, smart of Morty, but didn't work entirely.
Yeah, his greed got the best of him at the end.
Yeah. And yes, that actor on the right is Ron Howard's brother, Clint Howard.
Oh my God, that dude plays some of the weirdest characters in shows and movies.
Now, Ron Howard is not necessarily the best looking man on the planet, but he got the good looking genes on that side of the family. I have no idea what happened to his brother.
Took after his father, or Ron Howard took after his mother.
Yeah, so Ron got the good genes.
Yeah. This one looks like he's ready to, just hide your kids.
It is just, for all intents and purposes, he's like a nice guy, but I'm looking at him going like that apple, where did that apple fall? Because it wasn't from that family tree.
He just looks off.
It just looks, I'm sorry. I'm just looking.
You're not wrong, man.
And I'm looking at that. I'm trying to see the relation. But Clint Howard also had a small part in the movie Night Shift. I don't know if you've seen that with Michael Keaton and Henry Winkler about the morgue workers who basically run a brothel from the morgue, essentially.
Wow.
And Clint Howard, and there's a reason why they do it. So it's like, I one of the movies I absolutely love, and maybe I'll do it, show it for a watch party. But Clint Howard plays a teenager who basically hires Michael Keaton to drive him to the prom, and it's a hearse.
Oh my God.
So, I remember the line from Henry Winkler was it's like dead people ride in the back because it's a hearse. And Michael Keaton, this is after Clint Howard's character has gotten into the car, and Michael Keaton's like, "Have you seen that kid?" I died. I love Michael Keaton in that movie. He's like,
oh my God, that's hilarious.
But yes, that's Ron Howard's brother, and he has a small part.
Have you seen that kid?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Clint Howard was a good. Yeah, Ice Cream. Yeah, could have sworn I've seen him play some. Like I said, I've seen him play some twisted roles, man. I'm trying to remember. I think he played in the movie. I can't remember the name of the movie. I'm gonna have to check out his IMDb later. Trust me, it is one fucked up movie. I'm not gonna discuss it on here.
And he's he plays basically the husband. It's these two couples, and this kid Cody, and let me look at the cast, played by, where are you, Charlie Heath. There's no picture of his on IMDb, and that typically is if someone didn't really have much of a career necessarily. But so he basically works for this man named Morty, played by Sandy Barron. They run this Dark Side Tours thing. It's pretty much a big scam. It's like they kind of rip people off, saying they're touring. locations where people, like I guess celebrities died or is haunted. It's like, things like that. But they bilk people.
Yeah.
They bilk people, and Cody's basically the one that kind of reels the people in. He's a little bit of a con man himself, reels them in, and then Morty's the one that does
It's
the
a
chorus.
hustle.
However, Morty, yeah. So basically, however, Morty is drunk. So, and let's go shot because basically, like you said, like this is the girl that is a descendant of that O'Day lineage.
Mm-hmm.
So this is basically 1,000 years, and she's, I guess, they're together. Cody and what's her name, Bridget. So that's the character's name. Bridget are together, and basically Cody's like reeling in these two suckers, and so I was like, "What do you think?" I think of the two, I guess the girl was slightly better, but
Yeah.
she was no Jennifer Aniston.
No, she wasn't, but I mean, her acting was very, I'm guessing new. She was new to the game too.
Yeah.
Because her acting was more mid-level than up there.
So, yeah, it's just like I'm with the kind of Trey. Like they were kind of boring. I didn't exactly buy their relationship. I mean, I'm not sure how long exactly these two characters are supposed to have been together, but I did not buy the fact that they were together. Felt more like they were kind of, at least when they were talking to each other, kind of reciting their lines versus actually having any chemistry between the two. From what I get when I was like watching this movie again, and then of the three, the main leads, basically Sandy Barron, who plays Morty, actually put an effort into his character. He actually, he was greedy, he was drunk, but he felt like he wasn't just phoning in a performance. He was probably, I guess, even slightly better than Warwick Davis, but then Warwick Davis was better than these two. Yeah, it felt like they were together because of the script. Like, I did not buy their chemistry. I didn't exactly buy their chemistry, nor did I really buy the fact that, like, he's from the, like, I guess her parents don't like his character because he's kind of like from the wrong side of the proverbial tracks. But at the same time, I'm like, they don't really give you much to go on because you're like, okay, why is he yes, he's part of this hustle, but there's no real impression that you're given to understand where these parents are coming from, basically. So it's like, oh, it's in the script, so we're gonna we're gonna say it pretty much. Is what the feelings I got whenever I was listening to the dialogue. I'm like, okay, why is he considered from the wrong side of the tracks? No, like he's not exactly on his way to become like a Wall Street stockbroker necessarily, but but if you were going to have that impression, have him wear like, I don't know, it's a trope now, but like, it's like a white t-shirt pretty much. Have him like basically smoking, have him like, having like, like interactions with law enforcement, like with the police, to tell you they have kind of a relationship essentially where like he's been arrested or he's been like, or he's been detained for like any number of reasons, where he would have like kind of like an antagonistic relationship with the police or like with basically society in general, like to give you that impression. But like, no, he's like, I'm like, Trey says he's just a regular dude. And she, like, again, nothing about this girl. I have no idea, like, like if she's what her story is, how she ended up with them, or anything like that. They're just together. They are just, that's like, hey, script called for them to be together. They're just together. That's, let me see. And so let's talk about like, the actor, I think, that actually put an effort into his character, Morty.
Yeah.
Because every time not every time, but most times when he's around someone, he's trying to get them to buy stock proverbial like in Dark Side Tours, and he's like selling, and he's like selling $600 worth to this man who's passed out at the bar. And what was the drink called again? Red's something cider, basically.
Oh, I forget. Yeah, Red's special something.
Yeah, let me just see. Hold on. I like when he gets the guy to nod. Hold on, let me see. Let me see. He says it here. What the hell is that? Red Special Rye. Red Special Rye, which is basically just cola and water. Which is basically just cola and water mixed together. Because he's like, you've had enough. All right, this looks like alcohol. This looks like alcohol, but like, I'm giving it to you basically because I'm cutting you off, basically. Which I'll give this movie credit. This does play in later. So it's not like this is just introduced and then forgotten about. This comes to play closer to the end of the movie when Morty tries tricking the Leprechaun. Doesn't work entirely, but at least it comes full circle. Yeah, an actual callback. So, and this guy here, he pops up in like a lot of like just small roles. The one that like off the top of my head I remember seeing him in just was like a small role was Rat Race. And he was the one where where like it's like she needed to patch up the pilot needed to patch up the plane or the truck or something. And like she was like they use sand and water to make sealant. It was that guy basically.
Mm-hmm. I've seen him before too. I'm gonna have to look. I'm looking up Leprechaun 2's cast.
Like a small roles.
Yeah.
So he plays the bar owner here. So like I said, an actual callback. But what do you think of like Sandy Barron's performance to the Morty? Like I said, he's really the only one of like the main three that actually puts effort, I think, into.
He was the top one, or he had the top skill in this movie. He really did. He had the top skill in this movie. I mean, he can play drunk. He can play deathly still. He can play greedy. He plays it all very well. I mean, especially.
Whoop. Okay, he's having camera issues, chat. So when he comes back, so hold on. Can I add? There we go.
Yeah, sorry about that, folks. My camera sometimes craps out, so I'm going to use this one for a second. I do like it. Or there's a scene later on where he's just looks like he's spaced out, but he's like looking down the way.
Mm-hmm.
He's
here.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Shot. Yeah.
My favorite scene with him is when he's waiting for the pizza and he's like waiting by the door. And he gets the knock or something like 31 minutes free, and then he just pulls the pizza in and like shuts the door, just slams the door in the guy's face. So I'd love to do that one of these days. They're always on time, the fuckers. But like it's like he waited just that extra minute just to get the free pizza. That's how greedy he is, and that's how well he does it. Like, he doesn't even want to pay for a pizza. And and this one, like, it's like I'm gonna try. I want to see more of him in this movie, like more of like his interactions with the Leprechaun, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really do it nowadays, but I like but for a time they still did. And I was like, they were always on time, the fuckers. But for a while they did, but nowadays I don't think
played the David Powledge. I believe he's the one that played Barkeep.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what movies he's playing.
So
Leprechauns.
Like
Ew,
nowadays, they're
race.
like, here's the estimated time, pretty much, and like they'll tell you, so they don't like. So basically, if they're a little bit past that time, it's just an estimate, basically. So, but Morty runs the Dark Side tours, hustle, and he's drunk, which forces Cody to like, he wanted to go on like a date, going go-karting or something like that with Bridget, with a bunch of other like teenagers, and he's forced to do the tour because, well, one of the rules for this hustle is don't kill the paying customer. So you don't exactly want the drunkard driving the hearse for the tour, especially if he can't find his way out of the fucking bathroom. So, and the third rule I remember is no refunds. So basically, Cody takes it upon himself to give the tour, even though he only has a learner's permit. So that tells you, like I said, it kind of tells you their ages. So he only has a learner's permit, and he doesn't, like, basically is not able to drive this vehicle, at least not legally. But he still does it anyway because, well, he don't want to turn away paying customers. So let's just. Here's where the Leprechaun exits. Basically from a tree dedicated to Harry Houdini from the people of is it Killarney?
Yes,
Ireland?
Killarney.
All right, just making sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. So that's where the Leprechaun comes, and he, for one of the first thing he does, so like in one of the times when like you could tell that like Warwick Davis enjoyed the performance he was given, was that he pulls his gold tooth from a homeless man. It's gold, so he's gonna go after it. Oh, and like he has the only whiskey's Irish whiskey because the guy's drinking Canadian whiskey. So it's like 1,000 years has happened. And the Leprechaun comes out. So I guess let's talk about Warwick Davis's performance here. It's like, it's like I kind of agree with you because there's some like scenes where I feel like he wasn't as enamored with this plot, with this script, as he was with the first one. Like you could tell.
Yeah, it's like, okay, let's get this shit over with, kind of.
Yeah. Like, there are some scenes where he does, like this one here, when he's like, pulling the gold tooth from the homeless man, and he's like, the maniacal laughter. You can tell he's putting an effort in. But there's some scenes where it's like, really, I have to say this. Like you get that impression, like when he's delivering the lines. Like, it kind of reminds me of Christopher Lee, where there's kind of a rumor. I don't know if it's true or not, but there's like a story going around that for, I want to say it was, which one was it? One of the Hammer horror Dracula movies, where it was Christopher Lee that suggested Dracula remain silent the entire movie, and it was primarily because he hated the dialogue he was given. I want to say it was for.
Surprised me.
Yeah, I want to say it was either for Prince of Dark. It was either for Prince of Darkness or the third one. But that's like the trivia I read. So kind of like that's the impression I get, where it's like if Warwick Davis could have done this, he would have been silent and not recite those lines, pretty much. But unfortunately, it's like this is a character that cannot be silent, or at least not entirely silent, whereas Dracula could. And that's like, like I said, a bit of trivia I read where he hated the dialogue so much. He was like, I'm not saying this shit, so how about I just stay silent? Which actually, in the scheme of things, worked better. So, but what did you think of the... We can't really go into all the scenes necessarily, chat, but they're like the first movie, there's only really 3 kills in this film.
Yeah.
So it's really like not exactly a bloodbath or anything like that. It's not like, it's basically a slasher film per se. But I think they're a bit more brutal. At least the one kid's, when I say kid, I mean he's a teenager. He's like, as old as Bridget and Cody. His death, which you don't see, but you can pretty much imagine what happens. Morty's, and then like the security guard.
Mm-hmm.
And of the three, the kid and Morty's are like, I'd say, more brutal than the kills.
The most
in
violent.
They're more
Yeah.
violent than the kills in the first one.
Yeah.
I did appreciate that we don't see what happens to the kid. I appreciate movies like that because it leaves it up to the imagination of the audience how he looked. So, like, we don't need to see it. And that's a scene that we can't show necessarily because the leprechaun tricks him.
Plays a trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I say plays a trick, I mean makes this kid think that Bridget is enticing him into the garage and enticing him by removing her shirts. So basically there's boob shots in this scene, and like there's according to the trivia, it's rumored that it was actually a stunt double that was in the boob shots for the actress. Now, I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just going by the trivia I read, basically. But because of that, we cannot show those scenes. I'm going to see if I can maybe stop on so it gives you guys not what it looked like, but oh shit. Let's see if it's a shot of oh, I can't. I've tried getting a shot on like him facing the spinning blades. So basically,
it's a gamble to try to do that.
I tried, and every time I was like coursing through, seeing if I can get have a good pause. Every time I was like, it was boobs. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
I'm not gonna bother.
remember my bloody Valentine, Mara.
Yeah. So, but like basically, it's like these. I'm not sure what the tool is necessarily, but it's two spinning blades, and the kid thinks he's going to basically be
leprechaun fashioned up.
Yeah, and the kid thinks he's going to be motorboating the girl's boobs, and then he gets his face sliced off, pretty much.
Yeah,
you don't see it, you hear it. Yeah, you don't see it, but you hear it, so you can get the impression of like
shadow death.
Yeah, incredibly fucking gory.
Because you see it, the shadow, and then splat.
Yeah, and again, I appreciate that because we don't need to see every kill. The imagination can come up with something a lot more gory than what Hollywood can show sometimes. But he's the first kill. He's basically like the tropish character that's like he also likes Bridget. He's trying to get in her pants essentially. He he wants her to break up with Cody. Thinks he has a shot with her. She turns him down. Basically a trope of a character. Nothing like wrong necessarily with like the actor's performance, but like it's like seen it before. He's like horny teenager. It's pretty much all he is. So let me see. Okay, so this is where the leprechaun finds them. And he's about ready, the reason why he has a telephone cord wrapped around his throat is because he almost said bless you or God bless you on the third sneeze. So the leprechaun was like, nope, not this time. And wraps the old-fashioned telephone cord around him. And I can't believe I said I'm saying old-fashioned, but it's only 1994. So
yeah.
The corded telephone, which I remember having. And basically where you could go was depending on how far you could stretch the cord. So he stops them and he traps her with something much like how he originally he trapped that William O'Day character at the beginning with that collar with a lock on it, essentially like that enchanted gold collar of sorts. And they can't destroy shoes him with shoes this time. Yeah, I'm saying they kind of ignore shit that happened in the first movie to make this plot work in this one. So basically, Let me see if I can like get a shot. It's like he brings his. So this right here. With this ring. Okay, so he calls it a ring.
Yeah. The slave collar.
Yeah. And there. And this is basically like the rest of this movie from this point on, because he takes Bridget with him. This movie's only about an hour and 25 minutes long. It's not long at all. It's pretty much figuring out how to rescue Bridget. So I was like not even halfway through the movie, or quite halfway through the movie. She's captured. So basically, the last half is. This is why I feel like. Ward Davis wasn't as invested in this plot as like with the first one, and like it's like the first half is all right. He's like come back, basically captures Bridget, and then the second half is okay. He has her now. They're going to try to rescue her, sort of situation. Where the first one, it's like he's just tormenting he's just tormenting them the entire movie.
And then he starts.
Yeah.
He's a threat throughout the entire movie, and this one. So not only is he not running around a lot more, but I love the bar scene, and then he goes to a freaking espresso cafe because he gets so freaking drunk.
Yeah.
But you could tell that it's just.
Oh yeah, it's a fourth kill. I forgot about him. Yeah, but still not quite slasher level.
Yeah. A lot of people think that these movies have a high body count.
Yeah.
They really don't.
He goes to an espresso bar because he has a hangover. When Morty tried tricking him into by having him, claiming basically challenging him to see how well I'm talking about the leprechaun, how well the leprechaun could hold his liquor, while Morty drank the red special rye, basically just cola and water, try and trick him, which. Still relatively clever on Morty's part. That character still relatively clever. However, deep down, this character is greedy. And unfortunately, he's killed as a result.
Yeah.
So, I'm not expecting a body count too, but in the first one, he felt like more of a threat. This one, he didn't quite feel as much of a threat. Because there was really he did not really interact with Cody in particular for much of the film, or at least or at least whenever you didn't see him, like in the first one, you still kind of felt like he could pop up at any moment wherever the characters were. And this one, it's like, okay, I'm watching these two characters interact, and then cut to a scene with the leprechaun, then back to these characters, then cut to the scene with the leprechaun. It's like. It takes away, in my opinion, from my investment in the first one. So like I said, it's basically from this point on. So it's basically just rescuing Bridget. It's like, yeah, look, I'm like 41-35. All right, not just about halfway through. And the rest of the movie is trying to figure out how to rescue Bridget. So much show. Oh, here's Tony Cox.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see if I can. Because he sees this, thinks it's the leprechaun. Want me gold?
He's one of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I kind of want to see more of his character. Just a little bit. Because, during the scene with the drink off, I don't know what else to call it, pretty much. You have, actually, little people. Little people sitting around one of those bar tables
cheering
going,
on.
one of us.
One of us. One of us.
One of us.
He's fucking cheering. They're cheering on the leprechaun.
Yeah.
But I love his introduction when when Morty's like, he's here. They look down the thing and you just see him just standing there, his hand up on the bar, click, click, click.
Yeah, I want to see if I can get that shot.
He's just looking at him like, I'm here, you motherfuckers, and I am going to kill you.
Yeah, he's like staring.
Yeah. Go for 10 seconds from there.
Yeah, he's here. All
yeah,
right.
and then just click play.
Yeah. So you think like he's staring up into space, and I like that shot. I like that shot where it's like he's just.
Yeah, it's like hi boys.
Because there's, like I said, there's some parts in here where I'm like, I can see Warwick Davis being invested in this role, like but then there are other parts where I'm like,
in the same scene, it's like he just doesn't know what to say. Where he's looking around like, what do I do? What do I say? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
I can't stand this makeup. Get it off.
Yeah. Or like, it's like I only took this for a paycheck. I just want to say these lines to get me out of here. It's a sort of situation.
I mean, apparently he liked the series so much that he did like 6 or 7 movies.
Yeah, I think he likes the character. I just don't think he was wild about the plot for this movie.
Yeah.
And which shows kind of in his
performance. We'd have to ask him, obviously, but
yeah.
If I ever could get an interview with him, I'd actually ask him. It's like the second movie you've had, or there have been some criticisms. I'm not going to say from us, but there's been some criticisms that you didn't really seem. There were some scenes that you just kind of felt not at your best, where you were kind of looking like, do I say something or what? Any comment on that?
Yeah. So, like I said, it's like I'm with Trey. He was more invested in Leprechaun in the Hood, pretty much.
Yeah. Everybody keeps going to that one.
I think he loves the character. I think he loves the character. I just don't think he was wild about the plot for this movie. I don't think he was wild about the dialogue he was given. That's just my impression I'm getting watching his performance. Where it's like he wants to give it his all. He wants to be like the Leprechaun character because he did several movies with this character. He obviously has some affinity for it.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't feel it in this movie entirely. Hey, Citizen Ronan. I just didn't feel it entirely with this movie, and I think it's primarily because of the dialogue. And so this is where Morty tries to trick him. I want to see if I can get a shot of that.
She's trying to find a way out.
Yeah.
Where's the one of us scene? Yeah.
I want to try
because
to
he's
get.
Just. Yeah.
Hey, come on, let's cheer him on.
Yeah.
There it is. One of us. One of us. One.
Yeah.
See that expression alone on Warwick Davis's face when they started chanting "One of us, one of us." Like that is the emotion I want to see from him.
Yeah, because before that, he's talking. Hey, my buddy here just got married, and he's like, "What the fuck are you up to?" Yeah. His expression was just very blank.
Yeah.
It's like, what is he doing? What is he doing? I didn't consent to this. What the fuck?
One of us, one of us.
And those are all little people.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you guys got your shot out in a horror movie. And you all lived.
Yep.
So yeah. So Tony Cox, let's see, this movie was 94?
Yeah.
Tony Cox survived a horror movie before LL Cool J.
There you go.
So booyah. Everybody's always picking on the midgets. Well, the midgets survived before LL Cool J did. Actually,
there was a movie where a black character survived before these two.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'm saying, it's like I don't know where the trope came from because I can point out plenty of horror movies where the black character is the one does survive till the end. He's not the first one killed, but it's still a trope for some reason.
I mean, Leviathan, the black guy, made it all the way to the end and then went out in a blaze of glory. It's like, hey man, you lived. Or
the original Night of the Living Dead, all the way to the end.
That one too, yeah, all the way till the end. And it's like he made it through the entire movie. You give him props for that.
Yeah,
but he still died. So what? He went out epically.
Yeah, the trope should be
Back
Bond
in
is
that
first
day.
killed. Yeah, I'm saying like basically the trope is like
Yeah.
like the black character is like one of the first to die, and I'm like I don't know where that trope came from because there's plenty of movies where it's like the character dies, but it's either the last one or close to the last one in plenty of horror movies, and I'm like I don't know where this trope sprang from, but Tony
Now, Deep Blue
Cox
Sea, was that 96
survived.
or 98? What came first, Deep Blue Sea or Halloween H2O?
Halloween H2O, that was 98, right?
Yeah.
So I think Halloween H2O was 98. Or was it? I know it was in 96. Okay. So let's say Deep Blue was 99. So Halloween was first.
Yeah, so he survived even before freaking H2O or before Deep Blue Sea. So yeah, he survived Halloween H2O because all he did was get shot in the head and lived. Well, grazed in the head.
Yeah.
And lived. And he had a little bit of a scribe genius from the shot. So yeah. I'm gonna write a thriller. Oh, I love this. She picks out a freaking nail punch.
Yeah. So basically, this is basically like the times that we see her. She's trying to escape, and the lair itself is enchanted. So like at one point, she thinks she's back in her own home, only to find out that she's like still within the confines of the lair itself. And she somehow finds his stash, basically of trinkets, not gold, but just like stuff that he's collected. And one of them was basically nice thick pick, basically
one of these.
Yeah,
it's one of these little doodad tools. This one's from 1969. So yeah, I mean, she grabs a freaking nail punch, essentially.
Yeah, right here,
and it's like, my dad made me this. They had nail punches back in, like, I don't know, before Christ.
And it's still sharp, so she's going to use it as a weapon. Like I said, like, that's really like the only times we see her because she's trying to escape. Oh, this is
and then she's Anybody else get the hey vibe from this guy?
Definitely got like a rather wolfish one where it's like where I'm like, okay, in this case, kind of tone it down a little bit.
Yeah, he definitely came across as an asshole. Well, so him dying.
I don't exactly blame him because he wants to close up, and the leprechaun is basically drinking espresso to get rid of a hangover, and all he wants to do is for the customer, which is leprechaun, to pay and get out. But at the same time, I'm like, just tone it down a little bit. Anyway, like he's victim number 2.
Yeah, it's like you're coming up short. Oh,
you kill
and then
me.
He just overdoes it, and it's like, dude, you deserve to die after that performance.
Yeah, just a little bit of overdoing it. But I did like Warwick Davis's how he delivers the lines in this one, because this is like when I say there's like scenes where you can tell he's like enjoying what he's doing. It's this scene pretty much where it's like, "Oh, you kill me." It's like, "Oh, okay." Like, interesting choice of words. Right, like just that little smile there. Watch.
It's like, yeah, you're really into this, aren't you?
Don't you never try?
You take gold, leprechaun's gold.
He says, "Oh, you kill me," and just that.
Smoke, yeah, that right there.
Just that. And I was like, okay, he's enjoying this scene.
That's an idea.
Yeah, that's an idea. So, I love that. It's like just a nice shot, and then it's like, now there's an idea, and kills him by like basically skewering his hands pinning his hands to the counter, and then take like the steam and directing it towards the man's face. So the kills in this, while like,
creative,
about the same number as the first one, I feel were more brutal.
Yeah.
This is one of them.
Melts his face, or let's see here. Face melt, neck snap, pot of gold in the belly.
Yeah.
Ripping that out. What was the fourth one?
Well, the security guard was like run over.
Yeah. So he was run over.
So basically, a face cut off, face melted.
Yeah. Face cut
Pot of
off,
gold
face
through the
melted,
stomach. Run
pot
over.
of gold, run over. So yeah, there's 4.
Mm-hmm.
And well, yeah.
And
Gotta give him
the kid's death, Morty's death, and then the third would be this death in terms of brutality.
Yeah.
And I think Warwick Davis enjoyed the scenes where his character got to kill people, because that's where he put effort in. The dialogue between him and other characters when they're just kind of talking, again, it's like I don't think that was Warwick Davis wasn't as invested in those scenes as he is when he gets to be the maniacal leprechaun from the first one. I think that's why he appreciated, that's why I think he appreciated the return to form essentially with the third one in Las Vegas, where it felt more like his character essentially in the first one. So, yeah, this is. See if we can get a shot of. Yeah. So I just want to get a shot of.
Oh my god, yeah.
That shot where he looks like he's holding something, like that's his stomach. That's where the pot of gold is coming out.
Yeah.
And this scene was for me was. Have you seen the Wishmaster movies?
Yes.
Very reminiscent of Wishmaster, basically, where it's you make a wish, but the djinn, because they didn't say genie, I don't believe.
Genie, a djinn.
It's a djinn. Took it literally at times, pretty much, where it's you wished for this, but you didn't say how. Sort of situation. So I'm going to deliver, I'm going to grant your wish how I want to do so, pretty much. Like, for example, where the one character a character walked in on the djinn doing something evil, essentially, and the djinn was like, "I bet you wish you didn't see this," and basically causes the man to go blind by getting the eyes gouged out.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I love it. He's like, "I bet you really wish that you could do something you really wanted to do." And then he puts the guy in a freaking or in a water tank, and then he's like, Houdini did it in 3.5 minutes.
Yeah. Or the man who
blow your brains out right now.
Wished for a certain amount of money, and the djinn granted his wish, but the way the man got the money was that the mother died in a plane crash.
Yeah.
Sort of he was like, "Oh my god." Yes, I haven't talked about Wishmaster, but I'm saying this scene played out very much like how the Wishmaster movies played out, pretty much, where it's you wished, but how you received the wish was up to the djinn.
Was it Mira Sorvino that was in Wishmaster, the first one?
I know she was in Mimic, I believe. Was she in Mimic? I can't remember her being. I cannot remember her being in Wishmaster.
Yeah, she was in Mimic and House.
Yeah.
Wishmaster. Who's the woman in Wishmaster? So I'm looking that up right now. And Tammy Lauren.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember Mira Sorvino being in that. I remember Mimic.
Yeah.
And Wishmaster 1 and 2s. Yeah, they'd probably be good 1s and 2s. Maybe save for closer to Halloween or something. But the Wishmaster films are interesting. They are interesting. And I very much enjoy the first one.
Yeah, that's right.
So I believe that's
eternal. But in any other case, that hurt like hell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry.
I need to look it up. Does Julian Sands play the Wishmaster?
No, Alex Divoff.
Okay, they kind of look like each other. Remember Julian Sands played Warlock?
Yeah.
Played in the Warlock movies. I was like, they kind of look similar. Anyway, but this is like, it's like the second most brutal death, pretty much, because
Andrew Duvall.
yeah. Whereas I can't exactly play it pretty much because. So basically, Morty's greed, like I said, takes over, and he tries doing that 3 wishes thing. And he wished for the Leprechaun's pot of gold. He didn't exactly stipulate how he would get the pot of gold, so the Leprechaun basically had it pop up, literally, in Morty's stomach. So basically forcing Morty to make a second wish, and that is to wish the Leprechaun out, because the Leprechaun couldn't touch the insides of the safe. Wrought iron, it's like, burns him, so he can't touch it. So it's forced him to make the second wish to get him out of the safe, and then forces him to make this third wish to get the pot of gold out of his stomach, which kills Morty. Yeah. Creative. I think this is probably one of the most creative kills. This is probably the most creative kill in this movie. Yeah, this is the most creative kill in the entire movie. Yeah. How it's handled.
And I love that. He's like, I bet you wish you didn't have this inside you, right? Wham! It's like, oh shit, he just went all in.
Yes. Because Morty has locked Cody into that room, so like Morty can do the 3 wishes, and Cody, I forgot to mention, Cody at this point is wanted for the murder of the teenager, because they found flowers that he had brought over for Bridget with his name on it. So obviously that meant he must have killed the kid. No other evidence tying him to that scene, which I love about this movie, where it's like, his parents, her parents say he's bad news. And then this is my issue with this movie. Why? I'm just getting that he's a kid that's doesn't exactly have direction in life. Why is he bad news? It's like the script is not exactly clear.
He's a hustler.
Yeah. Well, he's a hustler, but at the same time, it's he's not it's not like he's a criminal, full-on criminal or anything like that, where he's getting their daughter to do drugs or things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to go the dumb police trope, pretty much, where it's obviously, I'd understand them wanting to find him for questioning, but they're it's obviously he's wanted for the murder of this. I'm like, what? Where did that come from? So basically he's caught by a security guard who originally caught Morty outside. Kind of spree you on, sicko. And I'm saying again, dumb cop trope, pretty much. Because he's not quite the bad boy trope. He's a hustler, but there's a bad boy trope that he just does not fit into. So if he was actually that trope, and you had the parents going, he's from the wrong side of the proverbial tracks, he's a bad influence on our daughter, then I would see that. But he doesn't fit into that. He fits into more you could do better kind of a trope. Where it's where is he going in life? Kind of a trope, pretty much. That's it. And this is where the cop gets it, or the security guard gets it, because he's run over.
At least he actually fires. Yeah.
Yeah. He's run over by the car, this Leprechaun's car. Again, one of the few scenes where Warwick Davis is loving.
Yeah.
Loving this. Now, again, this is where it throws whatever happened in the first one out the window, because he runs over the security guard, and he goes to run over Cody here. Okay? Fair use, YouTube. All right, you want me coin?
Yeah.
Like this. So because Cody has the coin, the Leprechaun can't kill him.
Nope.
Which doesn't make any sense, because he was full on ready to kill Ozzy in the first one, and Ozzy swallowed the coin.
And I love that. It's you gotta give me that coin. No, I don't. I have power over you, bitch.
Yeah. It's for reasons. But in this one, if you have the last coin, you have power over the Leprechaun, which in a way makes sense, but then again, it contradicts the first movie. So I'm at least be consistent. It either holds power over the leprechaun or it doesn't. But in this case, and for all intents and purposes with this movie, it does. So basically, the leprechaun can't touch him, really, because he has the last coin.
Yeah.
So
And then
he knows where the leprechaun's coming from based on where, like, the homeless man was said the leprechaun took his gold coin. So he, like, takes the iron poker as a weapon. So you go get Bridget, who tries killing the leprechaun with the with that little tool she found amongst the leprechaun's belongings.
Yep.
Tries luring him in.
Yeah, later, dear. No, you're gonna. It's like you're gonna get what you deserve, and then she tries. It's like, what the fuck?
Sounds like her guest arrived.
Yeah.
And he, like, traps her. Don't go anywhere. So one thing I did like about this, where it's like he's going through the tunnels and, like, little things start happening because of the magic the leprechaun has, you know, the different bugs, the dead bodies that pop up as he's making his way through. Like here, I thought that was, like, pretty creepy, seeing the corpses kind of, like, pop up.
What a coin.
Trying to think. So she's somehow able to break the ring, which is never really explained.
No, she peels the pin in the back that holds it together. She uses the thing or the busted tool to kind of scratch up
because it looked like it was on the ground.
She uses her feet.
Okay. All right. So I must have.
Yeah, she uses her feet.
Okay.
So yeah, she uses her feet there, and like that. Yeah.
Well, my question is, why didn't you try doing that before, and then maybe kill the leprechaun? She just keeps the collar on until conveniently when she is able to pick the lock in the back, or the pin in the back.
Yeah.
But, like, they split up. And this one, I do like this scene.
Yeah.
Because, like, the audience is led to believe it's Bridget's. But you know from the dialogue, it's the leprechaun, pretty much. Because, like, Cody's like, as long as we have the coin, he can't hurt us. Well, let's just leave it here. Like, that's what he wants. Let's just leave it here, sort of situation. And then kisses him. And it's cringe, but kind of funny that he knew it was a leprechaun based on, because he kissed differently, according to him.
Yeah. So who kisses better? I love that little bit later.
You have to think about that.
Yeah, I gotta.
That's how he was able to tell that it wasn't Bridget. Yep. It's a leprechaun. The lair looks good. The lair looks good. I would prefer to see more of the. When I say more of the lair, I mean, like, more actually, like, you know, and like me.
More of the set, yeah.
Yeah.
The caves, the twists and turns.
Yeah. So, and then laughs.
I love that.
But the voice changes. You lose. One of the few times her acting was good in this movie, it's not even her voice. It's just her expression.
Yeah.
It's like one of the few times she actually does a good job in this movie.
Right.
It's that. So basically, it's like the leprechaun thought he tricked him. So, what is it?
And she's magically hidden.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my god, he's gonna blow.
Yeah. So she thinks that Leprechaun has killed Cody in that scene, but Cody springs up and is able to stab the Leprechaun with the poker.
Yep. Yeah, this is more of a permanent kill on this one. Real milk chocolate genius. Love that. It's like, dude, you would have known your own freaking gold. But hey, he outwitted the Leprechaun, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. He outwitted the Leprechaun, but at the same time, I'm like, the Leprechaun can tell when he's even missing a shilling. So he should have been able to tell once it touched his skin.
That's why I say that Smaug was part Irish, because he just knew that, or when a cup was missing from his hoard.
Yeah. Like he
in the book,
he should have at least sensed something. He should have at least sensed something. Whereas when Morty was tricking the Leprechaun, that was actually smart. Like that was actually good trickery going on. Where he did would have worked. Yep. This one here, it's it felt like, well, it's near the end of the movie,
cheap
a cheap trick.
Yeah, it was cheap, or it was a cheap one.
Yeah, where Morty's was done in a plausible way. This was I shouldn't be surprised because you ignored lore throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
So basically the Leprechaun is able to be killed with the iron poker, and that's pretty much the end of the movie. And this is a supposedly final kill for this one, a final kill.
Yeah.
How do you know it wasn't me? He kisses differently than you. All right,
dude. At least you can admit that you got kissed by a man. So yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the end of the movie, Chad. It's the cat prays that the credits start rolling. This is a final kill for this Leprechaun, as opposed to the first one where it's he curses the well pretty much, where he's not entirely dead. This one is pretty much dead. He blows up.
Yeah.
So that's Leprechaun 1 and 2, ladies and gentlemen. I think, like I said, this is a downgrade of sorts from the first movie. Where it's I feel like kind of like with the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, where you could watch the first one, skip this one, and just watch the third one. You wouldn't be really missing anything in terms of any continuity. That's what I feel like with the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Watch the first one, skip the second one, go straight for Dream Warriors. You won't be missing anything.
And then
this is overall, I guess, enjoyable sequel, but like I said, it's a step down from the first one.
Yeah.
And there's parts where it's they're I don't buy the relationship between the romantic relationship, I should say, between the two main leads, between the two teenagers. I wanted to see more of Morty. He that actor actually put an effort in. Warwick Davis, you could tell he was not a fan of the dialogue. For a chunk of the movie, the times that he did show emotion or excitement, or he actually loved what he was doing, was when he got to kill people in this movie, actually be the psychotic, maniacal Leprechaun from the first movie, as opposed to just walking around, sort of a situation, and being kind of the butt of the St. Patrick's Day jokes, sort of situation. But anyway, so I say this is definitely a step down from the first movie. I'm not necessarily saying don't watch it. I'm just saying you don't have to watch it necessarily, because it doesn't tie in at all to the third movie. So you can skip this if you wanted to.
Leprechaun is about 7 to an 8, where this one is about a 6.
At most a 6. At most a 6.
Yeah, at most.
For me, I'm kind of with Trey. It's kind of a 5 to a 6, where it's right down the middle, where it's it's not horrible, but it's not really good either. So it's kind of take it or leave it. In my opinion,
just under the shade of a pass.
Yeah, you don't have to watch it. It does not tie into the third movie, so you could literally watch the first and then the third movie, not miss a thing.
Yeah.
With this, but that's the 1s and 2s for March. Yeah. So next ones will be
What would be April?
Well, I was going to, if I had time before the stream, I was going to pose this to you to see if you were amenable to it, because your birthday's in April too, right?
No, mine's in February.
February? Okay, well, my birthday's in April. So if you let me just pick the 1s and 2s, I'll let you just
That's
pick
fine.
the singles.
All right, yeah. Birthday wish to you.
I'll pick the 1s and 2s for next month. I will tell you this: I'm leaning Lethal Weapon 1 and 2.
Did we do those?
We did not do Lethal Weapon 1 2. We did Terminator 1 and 2. We did Predator 1 and 2. We did Alien and Aliens. But we did not do the Lethal Weapon movies.
Okay. I could have sworn we did. No way. I did the Lethal Weapon ones when I was doing a Christmas movie, or when I was doing whether or not it was a Christmas movie. Okay, that's why I'm remembering it.
Yeah, because I know we did RoboCop, but we did not do the Lethal Weapon movie. So I'm leaning Lethal Weapon 1 and 2 for April as like my choice. And then, like I said, because I'm picking the 1s and 2s by myself, you can pick the singles for April. Just like give me enough time ahead of time so I can watch them. But tomorrow, chats, we'll be watching 47 Ronin and talking about that movie on Orange Chat channel. So before I give my outro, Orange Chat, let everybody know where they can find you and anything you have coming up, all that fun stuff.
Well, you can find me on my channel, Orange Hat. No longer Orange Hat Reviews, but Orange Hat. I put all my reviews on Criticless, criticless.com. I will be doing live reviews for Ghostbusters and GX Guy. Let's see here. Tomorrow is 8 p.m. my channel for 47 Ronin. Friday will be Orange Hat Uncensored. Sunday will most likely be the review for Ghostbusters. Tuesday is 1s versus 2s for Deadpool versus Deadpool 2. Yesterday was Clash of the Titans versus Wrath of the Titans, so that was actually a fun one. But yep, other than that, also the Barroom Podcast Tuesday nights. So yeah, where we on Society Reviews channel talks insanity and whatnot, and twice a month on Mars channel for 1s and 2s.
All right, yep, and this is my kick. I don't believe I'll be able to do a gaming stream on Friday. Like I said, Friday evening, I'm planning on doing a watch party on my Discord. One of the few musicals I would say I love, because I generally don't gravitate towards musicals, but I'm showing the members of my Discord the movie A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, which would not be able to be made today. It's a Broadway production as well. Definitely would not be able to be performed today without the scrutiny of libtards and SJWs galore and feminists. Also, they'd be having a conniption if they watched this movie. Because I played them a song from the movie, and the song I showed them just to give them a taste was "Everybody Ought to Have a Maid." That's literally one of the songs in this movie. So I showed them on my Discord. I showed that scene to them. And then Saturday will be The Crow, the original Crow from 1994 with Brandon Lee. Watch party. I might try to do a stream on my Twitch Saturday afternoon if I can. If not, then those are the two watch party movies. Friday, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. And Saturday, The Crow. So this is my Discord. All right, so basically I'll tune in for that. Both of them will be starting about 8 p.m. Eastern.
What time Saturday?
Friday.
8 p.m.
But okay. Friday and Saturday respectively, basically. So about 8 p.m. Eastern to give people time, especially with the time difference for some people. And then Sunday, Talk Nerdy to Us should be on my Nerdy Homes channel, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. For that, before I play D&D, and then the following Monday on Kick for more Mass Effect Legendary Edition. So yeah. Thank you all for hanging out with us. As Orange Chat said, I'll be on his channel tomorrow talking 47 Ronin. So if you have not watched that yet, you have until tomorrow evening to watch that movie so you can join in the discussion. Or if you don't care about spoilers, just tune in anyway because we'll be talking that movie, much like we did 13th Warrior. And yeah, so basically, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, have a good rest of your day or evening, wherever you are in the world. And we will see you all tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, 47 Ronin. Peace.
Stay humble.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.